Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to the next episode review of Reborn as a Vending Machine, episode 5. And once again, I always say this show, okay, what started out when people started like memeing, right? Which honestly, I never thought this was to me. I would never show why the show this would be mean, but yeah, like I said before, it's a silly idea where a guy is reborn as a vending machine, isekai into another world, right? As a vending machine. Silly idea, yes. But the thing is, as I watched the show up until now, I don't see what is the meme about. I think this is a lot of brilliant. I think this author, I guess, who studied whole lot about vending machines, right? I think this studied a whole lot, and I thought just wrote whoever throwing anything in the kitchen sink, about these ideas, right? I think I gotta say it's really brilliant writing in a very funny sense, but trying to be a little serious at the same time, but I always never thought the show I would never meme the show. I really enjoy the show, and because he gets some good character stuff as well. So with how it opens up is with we see our girl Lamus as a little girl testing out her powers, right? With our girl Hilmy, that's pronounced her name. Oh, from the last episode, who was close friends with Lamus. Lamus is testing our powers, punching the water in this creek, and best way to catch fish, right? And like how she was panicking in the last episode that her boy Boxo just left her because he was kidnapped, right? So she never wants to leave him again, and even Hilmy, she fully understands that he's a magic item, but with a human soul that's been put in it. So, like last episode, she put 2 and 2 together that he's a human soul inside a magic item to her. And we get more, and because they go back with Lamus though, because testing her powers, right, when she was a kid, right? Because remember, when she's by herself, like she would try to hit something, she becomes unbalanced, right? She would miss, basically. Well, she would hit something, but it wouldn't be the right target. But when she was carrying Boxo on her back, though, she would basically hit the target precisely with her strength. So it's like we get a little bit of that, how just like with her strength, though, but what she needs to not only with Boxo be a perfect partner to help balance her out with her strength, right? So, but we get a little back at that though, and it was also she has this little painful thing from her past because her and Hilmy, because growing by her strength, since she had the strength though, she could just do anything, like just hurt a bunch of people or whatever. But since she was even too cowardly to crush a bug, right, and she could use her strength when her village was attacked, their village was attacked, right. They both lost their parents to when their village burned down, right? Like she could use that strength, but she was too scared to use it. So we get a little bit more development with her character, and so we're going back now with Boxo, that one girl, Shiori or Shura, the one girl was the little girl with the large, huge pigtails. Curly pigtails, causing a little bit of trouble from before, right? And like she asked Hilmy to take her accompany with her and Boxo to this place where they show off like their magic items, and which they agree to. They go to this place where people are showing off their magic items, all right, but it's basically they're just basically useless pieces of junk. Like, a guy presents himself with a large stick, though, right? And he sticks on each head. It can be used as a weapon. Like, he screws on a spear or a spiky ball, right? To be used as a weapon. I'm like, people are like, right? Or one guy we see, their magic item is like one of those, one of those pincher claw, right? You press the handle where the pincher claw can be like a shark head or a gator head or whatever type you pinch the handle and it goes at the end. I'm like, people really want have one of those as a magic item, really? I mean, they're showing all these lame items. They're so-called magic items. and the people are just like, until when the girl Shuri, because there's another little girl, another rich girl that's like her, about the same age as her, a rival, right? And how the way they're talking to each other, and Box is like, this is not how a little girl conversation starts, you know. Like, they're talking like they're snobby adults, like especially our the girl that we know, Shiori. She's like talking, being like the cocky rich girl, like how they are as an adult, right? So the one girl, her rival, brings out her magic item engineer, right? Brings out this big golden robot, right? And to me, it probably was like this is gonna be like an Ed 209, right, from RoboCop, right? Oh, it's a presentation, but something's gonna go wrong. It's gonna go wrong, right? Like how the Ed 209 and RoboCop it malfunctioned, right? It's supposed to do a procedure, a protocol, right, and just blows that one guy to bloody bits. Well, I thought it was kind of like the same thing. Maybe a weird comparison though, but I thought it was kind of the same thing here, but except it didn't kill nobody in this episode. But like, it's like it starts speaking like when did it start speaking? And then Hyunmi put two to go, like how she figured out about Boxo that there's a human soul in him in the machine, right? Well, she figured out that they put a human soul in this machine without this person knowing. This dead soul not knowing, because like, who woke me? You know, you should let me sleep. I'll kill you. You know. Well, the little girl did not know that though, but it was her engineer that was doing experiments on that, and of course, the shit goes haywire, starts attacking, right? And Hyunmi, she didn't rely on Boxo for anything. She basically disabled the whole thing herself. She clung on the back of it and just discarded the whole thing, and felt sorry for the poor soul that was put into there, right? It's like, now you can rest in peace now. Puts an end to the Ed 209. I don't know why I called it, because it was a prototype robot that malfunctioned. That's why I called it the Ed 209. The the golden 209, I don't know. Probably use that as a title as my next thumbnail, because... Well, that's why I thought, you know, a robot, a prototype, right, to show off, and then it malfunctions. Well, because, RoboCop was a computer error, didn't just kill someone to bloody bits. But here it was like they put a soul into something, and it went and shit just went haywire. So, but that was one thing. But it was Helmi who put it into it by herself. She didn't have to rely on a Boxer to help her. And so then the last half of this episode is where we cut to the woman who works at the inn where Lamus works at, right? And it's because it makes it seem like it's a very tense scene, right? Like this, and all the other men are around the table, right? And Boxer's in the back with this pink neon lighting, and they're discussing, right? It turns out that there's this, because they all have restaurants or food selling food, right? There's this big main franchise restaurant called Chain's Restaurant, and stealing away all their business, right? So they're trying to find a tactical way to make their food taste better. And like with Hyunmi and Lamus, they taste their food, but they say their flavor is lacking, is weak. Well, consider that when they've been tasting the food they've been tasting from Boxo, right? It's like 5-star quality food compared to, right? Because they never had that food before. So, and then Boxo, he goes and changes appearance once again. It turns out like a fast food vending machine, right? He just sells burgers and pasta and fried chicken. And they all taste, of course, they all go gushing, oh, it's so delicious, right? Like I said, they don't know this food from that world, from the world they came from, because compared to what they say, well, like I say, the food they ate, what he gives is like 5-star quality food. So they try, they sell the food at the venues in front of the restaurant, and it turns out they were very successful because because of the popular food they had, and that place closed and cleared out of town, which was a clear flow village, whatever it was called, yeah, and overall it worked, and then you get the last scene where Lamus, because she was, she's in this depression because of what happened, and she basically has like grief and like some like regret because she had like I said at the beginning where she had that switch and when she had the string as a kid though she could use that to help her village before, but instead though with the loss of her parents and Hulme's parents, she kind of had that pain of regret, that she probably wish she could have taken back. Maybe she could have used that strength to help. If it was she used it, maybe her parents were still a bit alive. She has been carrying that grief on her for a long time, and so once again, Boxo changes appearance once again and becomes a flower vending machine, and he only gives her a carnation, and thanks Boxo for that. And which it translates the carnation that was given to her. It translates as gratitude. So yeah, Reborn as a Vending Machine, episode 5. I don't see this as a meme. Well, many people it is being memed though, but I would never meme this series. I think it's very brilliant in the way it's been written. I mean, a lot of cool ideas I've been watching, just especially with how he keeps on changing his appearance and how whatever is convenient, right? I mean, the last couple also was from a condom machine and a machine that sells Playboy magazines. I mean, jeez. I've been having so much fun. Like, the author really does know how to research on vending machines, I mean, changed into an old vending machine that was, like, from the 60s. Oxygen vending machine, right? And here, just, like, fast food and flowers and, helping his friend that in a time of grief with her, dealing with that pain she's been going through. A little more of a bit of our character development, like we see in the beginning when she was as a kid, and help the whole thing with the Ed 209 robot going malfunctioning, nearly killing people, which it didn't though. But I always said he says it's a weird comparison though, but that's what I saw, right? A robot that malfunctions like a Ed 209. You should not have woke me. And Lamus did the whole thing, pulled it off all on her own without Boxo's help. And then the whole thing with Dale is selling the food, trying to drive this food business out of town from stealing their business, right? So yeah, I mean, it was once again very fun episode. I'm really loving this show. It's definitely, I think it's brilliantly well written. Say the word properly. Brilliantly well written. I really have enjoyed this series. It's funny a lot. It's funny a lot of times. Funny. I think it's some of the creative ideas which comes into the writing part I give, and the author I give credit to. Which sadly it's a shame that this is a short-lived series. Sad to say, which is too bad though because I really enjoyed the show. But yeah, that's episode 5 of Reborn as a Vending Machine. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. That's of Undead Girl Murder Farce. And we'll see you next time. Later.